Yeah, so the way it gets fast is with the epoll, no threads. Using threads is slow. If you start a thread for each connection, you can't afford to do that. I think the best architecture is Varnish, where they start a really good thread pool and then use threads in that pool. That's the best way. My way at the moment uses just one thread, which is the second best. So I need to do the multiple. But yeah, and then I don't use Lisp strings because Unicode 32 bits for each character. It's ridiculous and a complete waste of time. So, I had to write a regular expression library. You've heard about it before, maybe? CL Ireg6 gave a presentation. And then send buffs, call to byte strings, and then no-nonsense timeouts, and trying to avoid conting. Juan, you had a question?
Yeah, question about distribution. I'm wondering if you have any primitives that catches the states of program and with the using. Do you do that?
Yeah, I use call CC for that. So we can have a look here. So I support two call CPS transformers. One of them is called Arnetti. It's a bug-ridden pile of junk. The other one is, sorry if you made that project. The other one is CL-Cont, which is a bit less buggy. And yeah, it's very annoying. I have to use without call CC for a lot of the code because it crashes for CL-Cont. And it's very, very terribly slow. But otherwise it's a bit like Scheme with call CC. Yeah. Okay, now I'm going to inflict a lot of source code on you. So I hope you're ready. One of my favorite pieces of this project was this my macro. It's a bit like in C++. You don't need to keep, like in Python, in C languages like that, you have to keep saying like a class name, slot name, and in CL you do def struct. Then you can get these really long accesses, which are extremely tiresome. So I made a thing called my and my defun, which compile down to these silly accesses, but aren't, yeah, it's much shorter. So here's an example. You can use a normal def struct or a normal class or whatever you like in my defun talk description, and this will create a function called talk minus description. And in this scope of the my defun, you can say my title, and that will translate to talk title, the current talk, which is stored in the variable me. This macro is actually quite a monster, and it has many special features. For example, you can use a generic function. It will automatically detect it's a generic function if the generic function has already been defined, and use def method instead of defun, and specialize the first argument according to your class. So yeah, here it is. Let me show you it. Control C. What? Why isn't it letting me macro expand this? I've got another lot mode on. so it changes into this defun. You get this beautiful my call here. So if you want to call the same function again, you already have this my call handy, ready and waiting. And then it gets this with shorthand accessor, which actually implements all the my stuff. And the with shorthand accessor does this. It declares the types, and it makes this beautiful macrolet, which uses this extremely annoying function, which can look up superclasses and stuff. So, yeah, this macro is quite a monster. But at the end of the day, you end up with a really pretty code like this, just saying my title. I've got a second macro called its as well, which does more dynamic stuff. Okay, any questions about my?
Yeah. Why don't you use with slots?
Yeah, because this actually isn't a slot. It could be a function. Because with slots requires it to be an actual slot.
Yeah.
But here, it's my description. You can just use my description. You define it here. And it's the same as. So it doesn't have to be a slot. It can be an actual function you define. So you have kind of getters and setters. And it's very cool. You can do my define setf as well. It all works out. There's a huge macro back in this junk up. And a really ugly one as well. It needs to be redone. Yeah, so to get my thing fast, I wanted to have a way of computing as much as possible at compile time. And Lisp provides load time value and some other facilities, but they're not that handy to use. So I wrote a defun consistent, which makes a function which, if all the parameters are constants, will be computed at compile time or macro expansion time to be exact. Or in fact, at load time, if the things aren't available at macro expansion time.